Welcome to Rockefeller Center, an area that many people would consider to be the center of Christmas time in New York City. Hi, I'm Megan, a licensed New York City tour guide, and today I'm going to use my more than 10 years of experience showing tourists around New York City during the holidays to help you avoid common mistakes that visitors make. But before we get started, make sure that you click subscribe so you never miss a New York Minute. You know, I was thinking, we should book a vacation to New York City at Christmas time because it's cold, so no one's gonna wanna be there and it's gonna be empty.
And we'll get all the best deals.
Brilliant, brilliant! The holidays are one of the busiest, if not the busiest time to visit New York City. People from all over the world come to New York City to live their Home Alone 2 Lost in New York fantasies. And as such, things usually cost more during the holidays. Now, in my opinion, it's worth every single penny to visit New York City during the holidays, but you might need to save up and budget for it. Now, that being said, there are some fabulous free things to do in New York City during the holidays. For example, seeing the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Absolutely free. But this is not the time of year that you're going to find great hotel deals. You're not going to find 2-for-1 meals or discounts to attractions. So save up and budget for Christmas in New York City. I can't wait to take a leisurely stroll down 5th Avenue to see all the lights. I bet you no one's going to be around after dark.
And we'll get all the best selfies.
Brilliant. Crowds in New York City during the holidays are no joke. We are talking shoulder-to-shoulder crowds that make Disney World feel like a deserted island, especially around the top attractions such as Rockefeller Center. Now, you can expect these huge crowds not only of people coming to see the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and 5th Avenue lights, but also vendors that come, and they take up about half of the sidewalk, meaning that these thousands of people get condensed into a little itty bitty teeny tiny space. If you want to avoid crowds, I recommend coming to the top attractions closer to 11 p.m. That's when the crowds can maybe have thinned out. But pretty much at any time of day, any type of weather, the one guarantee is that you will have a lot of crowds at Christmas time. But hey, it's all part of the holiday magic. So I've planned our entire itinerary down to the minute. So I used Google Maps to calculate the exact time that it takes to walk from Rockefeller Center to Bryant Park, so we can spend 10 minutes at Top of the Rock and then walk to Bryant Park, shop for 23 minutes, and then 10 minutes after that we can catch a Broadway show. The running time of the show is exactly 2 hours and 17 minutes, and it's a 15-minute walk to Rolf's where I made a late reservation.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Whoa, 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 slow down there. One of the biggest mistakes that tourists make visiting New York City at any time of year, but especially during the holidays, is overpacking their itinerary. When you come to New York City during the holidays, we're going to have a lot of crowds. And this means if you go to visit an attraction, even if you have a time ticket, you're probably going to have to wait in a line. Oftentimes a long, slow-moving line. So this is going to take up a lot of time and throw you off schedule. So whether or not you're waiting in line to go to an attraction, you're waiting in line to buy a cup of hot chocolate, you're waiting in line to check out at Saks Fifth Avenue, just plan for those long, slow-moving lines. You want to give yourself extra time when you visit New York City. Our trip's in 3 months. Should I book tickets to Aladdin now? How about the Empire State Building?
Why bother?
How about the crown for the Statue of Liberty?
How long's that been there?
Oh, it's been there a while. You're right, we can probably wait. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Not booking in advance when you visit New York City at Christmas time is a major, major mistake. Many of our top attractions sell out because we have huge crowds, and the unique experiences like Rolf's German restaurant, and Oscar Wilde restaurant, their reservations can fill up several months in advance. The top Broadway shows will often sell out. Slots at Rockefeller Center ice skating rink will sell out. Spots at Macy's Santaland will book up. So you really want to book these major attractions in advance, especially if you have any must-sees on your list for visiting New York City at Christmas time. Oh, and tours book up as well. It's August and I've already sold many tours for Christmas time. I have a friend who runs a company called My Christmas in New York City. Sometimes they have as many as 3 buses out a night visiting Dyker Heights to see the Christmas lights, and all of those buses will be sold out. So you're going to want to book those major attractions at least a week, if not more, in advance to make sure that you get everything on your New York City Christmas list checked off. Hey, I need to show you what I'm gonna pack for our very first day, the day when we're seeing Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, and a Broadway show.
Okay.
I'm gonna look so gorgeous walking around everywhere. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the dress,
Okay.
and wait until you see the shoes. They're gonna be perfect for walking around Fifth Avenue.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. A major mistake that people make when visiting New York City during the holidays is not packing appropriately. I know that YouTube can make it seem like New Yorkers are running around dressed like this, but the truth is you can actually see people converting their costumes out in the street, grabbing that quick photo for the gram, and then quickly bundling up again. The average temperature in New York City during December ranges between 31 degrees Fahrenheit and 44 degrees Fahrenheit, which at least for this Florida-born girl is on the chillier side. So you're gonna wanna pack warm clothes. And remember that most of the holiday sites are outdoors, so you wanna be comfortable. And I cannot stress enough, you wanna bring comfortable shoes. A lot of people love sneakers. I personally, during December, like to bring some sort of water-resistant shoe or boot in case it rains or snows and you end up walking through that. So you want to bring proper footwear because you're going to be doing a lot of walking and a lot of standing outside. And remember, to quote the National Park Service, flippy floppies means slippy sloppies.
Should we check out Brooklyn during this trip?
I mean, it's not really part of New York, and it's not really that big anyway.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Staying only in Midtown Manhattan during the holidays would be a major mistake. All of New York City celebrates the holidays. In Manhattan, if you go down to Union Square, they always have a huge holiday market, and some people even claim that the Christmas tree in front of the New York Stock Exchange is more impressive than the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Additionally, all of our boroughs celebrate Christmas. If you go out to Queens, the Queens County Farm always has fabulous holiday celebrations. Out in Brooklyn, we have the Dyker Heights Christmas lights, which are arguably the best Christmas light display in New York City, if not the entire country. If you go out to Staten Island, we have the Lantern Festival. And up in Brooklyn, we have the New York Botanical Garden, which always hosts an annual train show, which brings visitors from far and wide to see it. So make sure that you explore all of New York City when you visit during the holidays. Should we go souvenir shopping in New York City?
Souvenirs? Why? Isn't it all just tchotchkes and trinkets? Maybe we should just get a couple I Love New York shirts and call it a day.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I love New York City t-shirts. I even own a few and believe that everyone who comes to New York City should own one. But if you're looking for truly unique New York gifts to bring back home or souvenirs for yourself, I have a few additional suggestions. The first during the holidays is to visit our holiday markets. Bryant Park has a giant holiday market. The biggest one is in Union Square. You can also find them at Columbus Circle and really all over New York City. When you go to these holiday markets, you are going to find artisans that are local to New York City selling their wares. So it's the best place to find a one-of-a-kind item.
Hey, I really need $40 right now.
What?
I just discovered these emerging artists down the street, and they have CDs, and they've signed them for me and everything, and And now they're really insistent that I give them $40.
40 bucks is a lot for a CD.
That's what I said too.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
The biggest mistake that anyone visiting New York City can make is falling for scams. Now, I have an entire video about scams if you want to check it out. In general, the major scams that you're going to experience during the holiday season are there going to be characters, people dressed up as characters. Around Rockefeller Center, it's usually a Christmas character such as the Grinch, Santa Claus, a snowman. In Times Square, it'll be something along the lines of Elmo or Captain America. And they make you think that they're these fun characters and you can get your photo taken with them. And you can. But after you get your photo taken with them, they are going to expect to be tipped and tipped handsomely. And if you do not tip them the amount that they think they deserve, things can get a little ugly. Now, the worst scam, in my opinion, are the CD guys. And I am amazed that anybody still falls for these CD guys because so many creators create content warning people about them. And the NYPD has even put signs out in Times Square warning people about the CD scam. This is how it works. Someone will hand you a CD, a compact disc, and they will make you think it's free. You'll take it. Yay, a CD. They'll then ask you for your name. They'll then autograph the CD case and they'll give it to you and they'll ask for a ridiculous amount of money, like $40 or $60. And if you do not give it to them, they have even been known to chase down the police and things can even get a little violent. So do not take a CD. No legit emerging artist is standing in front of the Lego store handing out CDs. Best case scenario, you're going to get a mediocre CD. Worst case scenario, you're going to put that CD in your computer and you're going to get a virus. And then the other major scam that you'll see, especially around areas like Rockefeller Center, are the faux monks. They are fake monks. They will hand you a token, perhaps a bracelet, a coin, and they will ask for a donation to their temple. But if you ask what their temple is, they won't be able to tell you because it does not exist. And they will ask you for money in exchange for that bracelet or token. So basically, if somebody hands you something on the street, just say no.
I hear that the Dyker Heights Christmas lights are amazing. I bet you we can see them in like 30 minutes. So we'll just head out 30 minutes later, catch our 8 o'clock show.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Don't underestimate the amount of time that it takes to get out to Dyker Heights when you visit during the holiday season. Now, Dyker Heights, in my opinion, is one of the most magical things in New York City during the holiday season, and I strongly recommend that you go. And I have an entire video about it if you want to learn more. But do know, from Midtown, if you take public transportation, it's going to take you about an hour to get out to Dyker Heights. If you take a cab, an Uber, it might actually take you more than an hour because of traffic delays. And this includes if you're taking a bus, perhaps a tour bus to go to and from Dyker Heights, they're also going to get stuck in traffic. Occasionally, you might make it out there in less than an hour. Consider that a happy Christmas bonus. But pretty much it's going to take at least an hour, sometimes more. So you don't want to plan to see a Broadway show after your Dyker Heights tour. You don't want a coveted dinner reservation at Rolf's German restaurant. You want to leave extra time and perhaps even take the opportunity to enjoy dinner out in Dyker Heights or nearby Bay Ridge.
I can't believe that we're going to be in New York City on Christmas. I've been dreaming of a white Christmas for forever.
And it always snows. You've seen the movies?
Brilliant.
While we all dream of a white Christmas in New York City, since 1912, Central Park has only recorded 1 inch of snow 18 times, or about once every 6 years. However, global warming has taken its toll on New York City weather, and our last white Christmas was in 2009. So while we can all keep our fingers crossed and dream of a white Christmas, I wouldn't plan your entire Christmas around expecting snow in New York City.
Babe,
Yeah, babe?
should we hire a licensed New York City tour guide while we're in New York?
I don't see any point. We could just use Wikipedia.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Not taking a tour when you visit New York City during the holiday season would be a major mistake. And the reason for this is, in so many ways, New York City gave birth to the way that we celebrate Christmas today. For example, a visit from St. Nicholas, the story that created the modern day way that we imagine Santa Claus to look, was written in New York City. The very first electric Christmas lights were put on display in New York City. And so many of our modern day Christmas carols, including I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, were written in New York City. But the only way that you would know about all of these is by taking a tour.
Babe, I found this app that has all of these different New York City sites and attractions, tour experiences, boat cruises, and it's all in one spot. I bet you we can get into anything we want and even book last minute.
Brilliant!
Brilliant!
Not booking direct when you visit New York City during the holidays would be a major mistake. And the reason for this is, if you need to make any changes or cancellations, perhaps there's a flight delay or the weather's really bad on a day that you booked an activity. If you need to make any changes, you get directed to the point of sale. If you have booked direct, that means that you get to talk directly to the company that issues the refund and makes those changes. But if you have booked using a third-party app, that means you get directed to the third-party app who acts as a go-between between you and the company, and there's extra steps involved and extra red tape in the way, and your chances of being accommodated are much, much less. And let's just say I have seen and heard many sad horror stories and seen many tears shed over this. So you want to book direct. I really want to see the Rockefeller Center tree lighting ceremony.
Yes, and I know how cold you get, so we'll book a restaurant nearby and then we'll show up 5 minutes before it starts and enjoy.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Watching the Rockefeller Center tree be lit for the very first time in the season is an all-day activity. People will arrive at Rockefeller Center as early as noon for an event that doesn't usually happen until 9 p.m. And the crowds can be really crazy. Furthermore, in recent years, the areas immediately surrounding the Christmas tree have been barricaded off, open only to press and invited guests. So you're going to be a little bit further off. Most tour guides recommend that for your best Rockefeller Center tree lighting experience, that you enjoy it on television from your hotel room, drinking a cup of hot chocolate, and then you see the tree lit in its full glory on a later date. However, if you do want to see it being lit because it's a bucket list item, just know to arrive early. Or you might want to check out a website like One Iota, which occasionally has opportunities for awesome people like you to get the tickets to be the invited guests at events such as the Rockefeller Center tree lighting. I don't really want to take the subway while we're in New York City.
Yeah, I hear there's rats that'll steal your pizza.
We should probably just take a cab.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Another mistake that tourists make when visiting New York City at Christmas time is not riding the subway. I know what you hear on the news, but the truth is that most New Yorkers ride the subway multiple times a day and are still alive to tell the tale. And if you're nervous about navigating the subway, I have an entire video that will help you learn how to ride the New York City subway. So make sure that you check that out. Now, I know that in a lot of cities, taking a car might be faster than public transportation, but in New York City, the subways are almost always going to be faster. Because in New York City, we often joke that our most famous landmark of all is gridlock. We have so much traffic. Also, the speed limit in most places in Manhattan is just 25 miles per hour. So no cab is gonna step on it and zoom around places. So the subway is going to be the fastest mode of transportation. Plus, you are going to save so much money taking the subway because it is the least expensive form of transportation, other than, of course, your own 2 feet. And you can then use that money on hot chocolate and cookies and tipping your tour guide. I think that these shoes would also be really cute for New Year's Eve. Do you have any plans for New Year's Eve?
I was thinking we should just go with the flow, and then later on that night, if nothing else works out, let's just pop into a restaurant in Times Square and watch the ball drop.
Ah, brilliant!
Brilliant.
Year's Eve needs to be a video all to itself. But what you need to know is that New Year's Eve is an all-day activity and you really need to plan in advance. It is the pinnacle of the holiday season, and hotels and restaurants with views of the New Year's Eve ball drop, they're going to fill up months, if not years in advance. So you don't want to put this off to the last minute. You want to plan ahead. Things such as observation deck New Year's Eve galas, concerts, dinner cruises on New Year's Eve, those are also going to book up in advance. So you really, really, really need to plan ahead for this one. Additionally, if you plan on seeing the ball drop in person, you need to, this is not for the weak of heart, you need to hunker down, be prepared for standing at least 12 hours out in Times Square, if not more, with no access to bathrooms, no access to food, and not even access to chairs. I have an entire video about how to watch the New Year's Eve ball drop that you can check out, as well as video footage of how the area fills up and the crazy crowds. But essentially what you need to know is that starting as early as 10 in the morning, people start heading out to Times Square, and the NYPD, as blocks fill up, they create holding pens and they close off that holding pen. And once an area is blocked off, no one can get in. It does not matter if your friend, if your family, if your mom has been standing out there since 11 and you're trying to meet her, you are not going to get through those NYPD barricades. So it has to be you yourself standing out there bright and early in the morning for hours and hours and hours. So plan ahead. If you want an idea of things you can do other than going to Times Square, I have a whole video about that you can check out as well. And if you do plan on watching the New Year's Eve ball drop, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you will never forget. I hope that this video has helped you learn how you can get your very best New York City experience during Christmas time. If you like this video, make sure that you click subscribe, and you can also check out my tour company. So my tour company is The Megan Daily. Visit themegandaily.com to learn how you can book a tour with me or one of my amazing colleagues. They are so fabulous. I will be jealous of you if you get to take a tour with them. And make sure that you click subscribe, because I have over 1,000 videos helping you get your very best New York City experience. Thank you so much, and for more NYC, follow me.